That's right, Tamrick, I'm on to you. Orc, Orc, from what you've shared in this community, you've led a very interesting life, and you're not even an old soul just yet. Well, I don't know, you might have an old soul, but you have been a very interesting person to get to know. Not that others aren't, I'm not excluding others, but just from the things that you've talked about, that you've experienced in your life, the things that you've been through and your journey that you've shared with us here, I appreciate it because it has been a very interesting journey. Coffee, you say you're not that interesting at all. I beg to differ. Now, I'm probably very biased, Coffee. We've had the blessing to play D&D together now for quite some time. You've been a part of the community. Pardon. Oh, jeez. That darn soda. You've made some art for the community, and, Coffee, you've also... Coffee, I remember we met from Journeyman's. We met from Journeyman's channel, and you, on his recommendation, you took a chance on this community as a community of role players. And, when you did that, when you and other people, Coffee, that come in and say, hey, I'm new here, I saw ya, or you're recommended by someone, I take that to heart because I want you all to stay. I want you all to enjoy yourselves. I want you to feel welcome and that you actually are, not that I just say it, that you actually are a part of something that is greater than us, yet it's made up from us at the same time. And, since the day that you joined, Coffee, you gave us a chance to make an impression on you. You gave us a chance to socialize with you, a platform to learn and be entertained and to contribute to and to receive, contribution from. Because, hey, I've hired you for art jobs. I do business with people who do business with me. That's part of the reason why there's the art goblins in the pools down here. But I appreciate it. Oh, look at that. Yeah, Coffee. You've been around a while, huh? Where should I post the pictures of my helmet? Put it in IRL, Orc. Put it in the, your IRL pics. J-Man is the reason Mordecai and Mouse exist. Yeah. We'll just go back to old Grandpa J-Man here. Pouty Lips has been here for over a year, yeah. Hey, Spooky Sprinkles, yeah, back to it. Yeah, Spooky, we're actually gonna we're gonna start our NPC creation. Well, thank you for sticking around, and welcome to you, Spooky. Now, if anyone does want to pick up some boxes or capsules, you can do so, but I won't be able to pop them open until we finish making our NPCs. Now, there are two ways that you can go about. There are two ways that you can go about making your NPCs. Well, there's more than just two. The first, if you need inspiration and you want to use this methodology, we are just going to roll for some random prompts, and then we're going to apply those rolls to what we have gleaned from this condensed, from like this summary of the 4 characters that in our, in the meta roleplay of this workshop theme, we have 4 friends, they made characters, handed it to us, and now we're going to generate the world in which this adventure is going to take place. And we made some interesting notes about NPCs that would have a connection of some kind to this world. And you don't have to, we're going to make at least 2 tonight. We don't have to stop at 2, obviously. You could NPC an entire city. This is this merchant. This is this head of faith. This is this, fishmonger. But before we reference this document, to warm up, similar to how we build PCs. And with the help, by the way, of the Dungeon Master's Guide, a core rulebook, we don't... Just because I have a store doesn't mean I want to force a bunch of books on you. As much as I can, I try and keep workshops and content, you know, unless we're doing something special, to the core rulebooks. Because there's so much content you can glean from it. What we're going to do, here we have creating non-player characters. We have a very simple worksheet, and together, through some random rolls, we are going to help determine the aspects to one of the big NPCs that we are going to put into our adventure. I can't stay long. Prior commitment. Got to catch Streamwise. Well then, Spooky Sprinkles, before you go, I would like you to help us build our NPC tonight. So if you will do me a favor, can you please type !1D20 to start us off and give us a distinctive feature to our NPC? Stops on an 18. There's a distinctive posture, and that could be crooked or rigid. Thank you, Spooky Sprinkles, for kicking things off tonight in the workshop. Shukan, no! Shukan, wake up. Don't pass out here. Oh, and Josh, you got it as a Christmas gift. Very good. And I hope then that workshops like this, and you can look at past ones, can help you. Or honestly, if you just sit down and go through it, there's so much good content for you, Josh. Now, Josh, will you please roll a D4 in chat? !1D4. And 1 or 2, there's a distinctive crooked posture. 3 or 4, it's a distinctive rigid posture. Stops on a 2. All right. Now, what about the abilities? Do all your NPCs need to have a fully fleshed out stat block? No. Many times they don't. You know, if a party member just wants to outright, I don't know, kill a commoner. Commoners have like 4 hit points. I mean, they're gonna do it. Unless you want to intervene or whatnot, which of course you probably will in most cases. But this is going to help guide us into maybe discovering more about how the character conveys him or herself, or can speak to the character's background a little bit. Shukan, will you please roll a D6 in chat to give us our high ability? Hiccup. Stops on a 2. There we go, Dex. Now, this NPC's highest stat being Dex could mean that it's a 20. Could mean that it supernaturally surpasses that natural limit and is 24. Or could be 14. And that's the highest stat. Shadowner, will you please type !1D6 in chat and let us know the low ability? Yeah, it could be a 10. Absolutely, Shukan. Also stops on a 2. How very contrarian, Shadowner. However, we're going to need something other than dexterity. Hey, welcome back then, Hark. No, not necessarily. No. You have a dice cooldown. Hark, can you roll a d6? And Shadowner, I'll have you roll for the next stat. But you have an individual cooldown on rolling a d6 to keep things Hark, You're killing me. Cold Spark, will you roll a d6 in chat, please? Thank you. It's a 2 facing the other direction, kind of. Alright, a 5. Wisdom. So high dexterity, this character would tend to be more lithe, agile, or graceful. And a low wisdom, someone who's more oblivious or absent-minded. Yes, Tamarick. It would. The name for this track on Tabletop Audio is Los Vangelis 2030. All right, now let's continue on with our prompts. I owed Shadowner a roll. So, Shadowner, can you please type exclamation point 1D20 to let us know our NPC's talent? Stops on a 14. An expert carpenter. Very good. It's a great background music site, Josh the NES nerd. Now, I owe Hark a die roll. It's open, Josh. What is our NPC's mannerism? What is our NPC's mannerism? While it's open, I do support Tabletop Audio on Patreon. Stops on an 11. Makes constant jokes or puns. All right. How does this NPC interact? Whoa. Doric the Merciless is here. Everyone, speaking of some old timers, Doric found us when our community was put on the front page of Twitch shortly after we reached the affiliate status. And we did that all of like maybe 3 months. Or it was like 2 months going into the 3rd month of broadcasting. Doric has been a part of this community since the day that he stumbled across us off the front page. And I'm very grateful for that. Cold Spark. Now, how does this NPC interact with others? Oh, well, yeah, Doric, of course. In fact, Doric, let me get your help making this NPC. I need your thumbprint on our character here. Will you please type exclamation point 1D12 in chat? And my goodness, Shukan, thank you for gifting subs. And of course, when we have our monthly box raffle to give away to people, the number of subs is what determines how many prize boxes are in the pool. Doric rolls a 9. Irritable. Irritable. Whoops. So this could be a prompt that he irritates other people, or that he or her or she herself might become irritated with other people around. But you know what? That's our prompt, and we can take it in whatever direction will suit us for the best sort of organic growth of this NPC from the environment that we've created. And you know what? Having an expert carpenter is very important in the city that we made last night. Given the fact that part of it is built atop and into these giant patches of giant mangrove trees. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Doric. Probably because of the constant jokes, and with the low, if to play into the low wisdom, he or she doesn't, doesn't realize that you're going that far or to that point, or you don't understand you're upsetting people. Machi, hello. Pardon. Is irritated when people don't enjoy the puns. Dad jokes galore. Yeah, so as a DM, if you're going to run this character, have a notebook handy with all sorts of material. So it was pre-planned. Now, so what was the point of that, Machi? Yeah, what is the point of making characters and getting a group together just to mess around like that? Now, what kind of useful knowledge would this NPC have? This is more of this is kind of a black box where you can put anything you want. You know, you can make notes as the DM if you're going to run this adventure, and maybe we can come back and provide some inspiration. Maybe our character here might make bad jokes and kind of grates on people. Though, what if because he's an expert carpenter, he knows people. He has connections. Maybe he accidentally overheard something that he ought not have heard. And he doesn't realize how important it is, though it's still up here, should he ever have the need to speak those words. The constant jokes could be something or another. Useful knowledge is a great catch-all that if you need to introduce some information into your adventure, do it through an NPC that has some kind of rapport with the party. Yeah, something like a builder's guild. And it works out well because while we're not playing in Ravnica, two of the characters that we generated of all 42 backgrounds that we had in our character creator sheet, two of our 4 party members were Ravnican guilds, and specifically ones that produce green mana. We had a Golgari guild, and of course we're not carrying over the pure theme of Golgari into this our own fantasy world. But we had a Golgari guild member and a Celestia. And so honestly, well, you know what? I don't want to get too far ahead. You're 2 steps ahead of me, Doric. You're absolutely on the right track, but I haven't caught up to you yet in it. Why not pull an Avatar the Last Airbender and have all the trees? Well, yeah, you know, with how mangroves grow together, Shukan, all the trees may very well be just grown and fused together. You're absolutely right. Hey, Jam Jam. Oh, from the Cthulhu mythos. Have you been playing that in a video game format? Board game? Role-playing game? By the way, Jam Jam, I did beat Dragon's Dogma, and I went into New Game Plus, so it was a lot of fun. Thank you for suggesting that. Quingar, we need to ask those pirates if it's their birthday, because then they'll be saying, I'm 80. You don't like the Celestia conclave, Victor? Golgari and Celestia wouldn't get along, says Doric. Well, you know, they can both agree that, you know, trees are cool. Video game, been wanting to get into Call of Cthulhu? Well, I didn't broadcast it, Jam Jam. I played it just off to the side. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And of course, I'm not really doing a speed run of New Game Plus, but it's so nice that all your stuff carries over. Yeah, Machi, I wanted to play Kingdom Come Deliverance on the stream. My computer can't handle it. Honestly, my computer was shutting down playing Dragon's Dogma. There's a couple times where I would move from like a cave out into the main world, and I could hear my car go woo, and then beep, like I'd get a flat line on my computer, and I'd have a heat shutdown. And I'm not playing Dragon's Dogma on pretty settings, and even if I was, Dragon's Dogma is an 8-year-old game. But yeah, I'd like Kingdom Come Deliverance has a lot of very good options, and it'd be good to play along with you all, I think. Yeah, I've been thinking about going out there, Jam Jam. Yeah, Tamarick, it's so aggravating. I got into the habit where I'd save my game before I would travel to any new zone, because my computer several times would just rev up, overheat, and shut down. All right, now what is the ideal? What is the ideal of our NPC? If you want to roll into a traditional background for an NPC, go ahead. You'll get an ideal bond and a flaw, or in this case, perhaps even a secret. Pardon. If you want to mix it up a little bit, or have other options, in the Dungeon Master's Guide, you can find another list for such a thing. By the finest Russian engineers. Victor, will you please roll a D6 in chat for me to let us know, do we have a good, evil, lawful, chaotic, neutral, or other? Oh, shoot. I should have gone like, boop. Where'd that other finger come from? Boop, 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 boop. Lands on a 5. 1, 2, 3. A neutral ideal. Okay. And now, Machi, will you please also roll a D6 in chat to let us know which of these ideals, which specifically of these ideals that this NPC has. Stops on a 3. Live and let live. So someone who's kind of jovial, a little bit oblivious, probably that distinctive crooked posture could be due to the fact that he or she is an expert carpenter, you know, spends a lot of time, you know, bent over or even bent back or something along those lines. You know, we're getting excellent prompts for an it writes itself kind of character here. Now, what is our NPC bond? Could I have, yeah, I did take I did take a spray can to it. I have one right over here. There you go. There's some nice ASMR for you. Oh, Jam Jam, will you please type exclamation point 1D10 in chat for our NPC bond? We might have lost Jam Jam. Bubonic One, will you give me a D10 roll in chat, please? Grim Part 3 is out next week. Oh, 40, 50 pages. That's some good content. Stops on a 2. Protective of close family members. Now, that could be guild members. If we do want to develop some kind of a trade guild to which he or she belongs. And kind of lastly, What is this NPC's flaw or secret? Because NPCs, like player characters, are also flawed creatures. Who has not rolled? Quingar, I don't believe you have rolled yet. Can you roll a d12 for me in chat, Quingar? Stops on a 9. Ooh, shameful or scandalous history. Shame for display. A shameful or scandalous history. What could have happened that he was responsible for, or that was pinned on him and he never fought it, or something along those lines? Hey, Bewitchcraft, welcome. The flaw or secret goes up to an area here that we skipped over and could be, in a sense, another black box. Exactly, Tamrick. He could have been protecting someone else's reputation. And you were gonna... So, you and Doric are now one step ahead of me. You and Doric are one step ahead of me, so hold on. Hold on to those thoughts, okay? Oh, jeez, Orc. Hopefully it was taken in good humor. If you come up to occupation history, well, we have some clues. And you can fill in whatever you need this NPC to be. What you can also do... What you can also do is come over here and look. You know, we generated the character first, and now that's a good compelling one as too, Demon. And now we can apply it to the list of prompts that we have made from our NPCs. Remember, this is the first thing we did in our workshop. We took each of the character sheets and asked for prompts from each of them. And now that we're making NPCs, well, let's see. So Walshud here, Walshud, the Medusas are references to people inside his guild. Now, Walshud was the Golgari guild member. And whether or not there's actual Medusas, you know, that could be replaced by something or someone else. As well, there was a contact. Actually, there were several other guilds mentioned that exist. So there are trades. There are active guilds, and we can tie this NPC. So we've generated the NPC, and now we're going to apply it to what we have. In the next NPC, we're actually gonna select the theme from the characters, and then we're gonna randomly apply attributes. So we're gonna take similar methodology. We're gonna approach it from each angle. Now, what about Cantora? Those who know our secret, those we've helped, and those we've judged. Cantora has a scandal in her past. She has something shameful that has happened. Oh. Oh, whoa. Could this NPC be someone who knows about Cantora and has maybe helped to keep the pressure off? even if she's not aware of it yet. Maybe he or she, as the NPC, is someone that Cantora has helped, or someone that she has judged. What about Digson? Connections in the court. Now, this is this would be in the dictator's court, more the executive court. Though, of course, that could, in a dictatorship, extend into judicial court. This is probably not someone that, you know, we probably don't have... Well, I don't know. This could be someone... Pardon me. This could be someone, actually, almost like a royal gardener or a royal like a carpenter, who actually Digson can know, would end up having learned of Cantora's past, could have come from the same or similar guild as Walshud, or even Wofax, who's the one in the Celestia guild. And with these random prompts, we have an NPC that seems to be not a spoke, an axle for the wheel of the party. And this NPC can exist in several ways to different people. Which means that just by looking at the information your players handed to you, did we have to burn out our own computers and overheat our brains? No. All of this came from a couple dice rolls and some imagination, as well as references to all of the work that your friends put into their characters to help build the world. In this case, we have an occupation in history where we have someone who is a long time, maybe something even like grandfathered carpenter in the palace. And this is how we can flesh out occupation in history. If we wanted, we can also make our NPC occupation in history in another way. And let me bring that over. One moment here. Y'all remember this? We can do a very quick build for this character. And again, we don't need super details. We don't need to know how many hit points this old carpenter has. Maybe, in fact, he or she isn't even old. Is just, you know, crooked because of, from birth, or because of an injury, or the nature of the work, or it's all a grand ruse. Who knows? But in the sake of thoroughness, tell you what, let's give this a try. We have, let's get some prompts. Leroy, will you please type exclamation point 1D100 in chat? We may no longer have Leroy Highhill with us. All right, Demon Quiller, will you please type exclamation point 1D100 in chat? Oh, Demon, can you type 1D100 in chat for me? Exclamation point 1D100. $43. So this NPC is a female character. Now, for the race, we can just choose, right? From our setting, we know that halflings, which are the humans, and gnomes, which are the elves, exist. And anyone could be, anyone taller are normlings. Because we had a half elf in a sense, who are considered to be a mutant in some variety. No, it's fine, Demon. Or we could just leave it up to, we leave it. We generate this NPC as someone or something else, or we can filter it down and just have it be a core player's handbook. You are the DM. You can set those filters as you'd like. But I'll tell you what. Why don't we keep it open? Much as we made our PCs, let's make our NPCs similarly. Shadowner, will you please type exclamation point 1D6? Five. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, Hark, can I get a D6 roll in chat, please? Oro, welcome. Stops on a 2. 1, 2. We have a Minotaur. Speaking of Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. And so if we have decided, as the DM of this adventure, that we want to go with this, we have a female Minotaur. Talk about, yeah, she probably has powerful muscles that have her walking like this. Or it's because it could be of age, it could be of musculature, it could be of something at birth, it could just be her natural posture, it could be her endowment, it could be a lot of things. All right, let's continue with our quick NPC reference here. Now, how does this person express herself? Well, we did have a neutral ideal, which could indicate that we have, a neutral take. But I'll tell you what, your ideal can be opposed to how you express yourself. But let's use the Morg's distribution here. Cold Spark. Oh, actually, Shadowner. Oh my goodness. Good observation. As a normling, she's probably too tall for a lot of buildings and is so used to stooping over that she looks like she always walks with a crooked posture. She could just be used to it. Yeah, human-sized buildings. And the humans, of course, in this campaign world are halflings. Cold Spark, will you please roll a percentile in chat? And we're going to use the Morg's distribution to determine our NPC's alignment. $79, chaotic neutral. Chaotic neutral, female Minotaur. Okay, let's continue. The level, I'm not worried about the level. I'm not worried about feats. Let's look at backgrounds. Yes, a Minotaur. We know that she works as a highfalutin carpenter. You know, she has good dexterity. She probably has excellent muscles for, driving nails and whatnot. Though, if we want to give her a background, what did she do before? Or If y'all want to take a chance and see if the background truly dovetails, aha, carpentry puns. We got to get into the mood of the NPC. If it truly will dovetail into what we've already generated for an It Writes Itself moment, let's determine a background. Because in a pinch, let's say we didn't determine that she is some sort of royal carpenter, your background that you roll will absolutely help determine, is she a soldier? Is she a sailor? Is she a candlestick maker? Is she a baker? You know, is she a studious sage? Is she a researcher of some kind? Is she a loner? Yeah, we'll get this character whittled down. You're right, Tamric. Could be a hermit. Yep, a tinker, tailor, soldier, or sailor. Oro. Let's see. So we have 62 backgrounds. I do have Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Technically, there's 4 backgrounds in there, so that would give us 66. So to make things easy, why don't we compartmentalize this into a D12 roll, ignoring the 12, and then a D6 roll. So we would have 11 segments of 6 each. So, Oro, will you please roll a D12 in chat, and please don't give me a result of a 12? You know, different systems, different times, Victor. 4. All right. So, 1. Whoops. That's class. So that's 1. 2. Remember, because we're using... oh, no, we're using 6s. So, 1, 2, 3... and then 4. Now, within this... Oh, that could have been a method as well, Victor. I'll tell you what, though, Victor. Roll 1d6 in chat for me. Four. 1, 2, 3... a faction agent. This plays into guilds, or, oh my goodness, this does write itself. Our faction agent could be someone else who's trying to bring down the dictatorship from the inside. And the faction agent is found in the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Oh my goodness. I'm loving how this is turning out. And if we want to express our NPC through a class, which you don't have to, not all NPCs might have classes or fully developed ones, still, let's go through it for practice. Let's go through it for imagination. Yes, the person's profession, or at least the outward obvious one, is a carpenter. However, hey, Gamoos, however, it seems that she is a faction agent of some kind, and as an NPC, maybe she could be the swing vote in what happens. Gamoos, before you go into Lurk, can you please roll a D12 in chat? Exclamation point 1D12. Lands on a 3. A cleric. I wonder if we're a master carpenter and we ended up getting a forge cleric. That'd be something interesting. All right. Now, let's see. Who is someone that hasn't rolled yet or hasn't rolled in a while? Bewitchcraft, are you still here? Oh, Tamric, you haven't? Oh, I could have sworn I called on you already. Well, don't worry, Tamric. I'll get you on the next roll. Not tonight. All right, Tamric, you're getting the next roll. Oh, Tam can go first? Okay. Tamric, I need you to roll a D12 in chat. What kind of a cleric do we have? Exclamation point 1D12. Lands on an 8. Even better. Even better. A nature cleric. Tamarick, are you working for me or something? Like, have we, like, made some, like, background behind the scenes bot scripts where this is all building into itself? This was meant to happen. Look at how the story is growing naturally. We're leaving ourselves open to this. We have a master carpenter in a city that last night we're talking about, yeah, maybe they actually, like, grow the branches to become living bridges and support itself through natural carpentry. And here we have a nature cleric. It's probably why we're such a good carpenter. Oh my goodness. Isn't it? It's truly organic. Yeah, it is very carbon-based. Isn't it amazing? You just open yourself up to this? All right, Bewitchcraft. I would like you to help us determine how old is our Minotaur. And to do that, I need you to give me a percentile roll in chat. So, exclamation point 1D100. Stops on a 52, so we're an adult Minotaur. We're an adult Minotaur. And I'll produce this number. It's a D47 plus 17 years. So here's the 47-sided die, and we're going to add 17 to it on the dice roller. So she is an adult Minotaur at age 22. Poor dear already is walking with a, just so used to stooping over because of all the humans and everything. 22-year-old adult chaotic neutral female Minotaur nature cleric who's a faction agent. And if you want to get even into into more, do we want to find how big of a girl is she? Well, I mean, we could do that. She starts at 6'10" and we need a 2d10. Let's do this real quick. Bubonic one, give me a percentile roll. The 10s number is going to be the first 10 in the height modifier. The 1s is going to be the second. So she's starting at 6 feet tall, and she's going to cap out at 6 foot 7 inches. Now, is that including her horns, or does she not have horns as a Minotaur, or as a female Minotaur? In which case, does she have udders? I'm not talking about, humanoid. I could be talking about humanoid. It's your game, whatever you want to run in your world and that people are willing to accept. These are things to think about, though. Does she have a tail? Does she have, like, human feet, or does she have hoof feet? How many fingers does she have? Or does she not have fingers? I don't know. So we have that number 7, and we're going to multiply it by 2d6, which is her weight modifier. And then we're going to add that number times 7 to her base weight. And so just to get a couple 6s going around here, can I get... Doric the Merciless, are you still here? Oh, you know what? Coffee Cat. Coffee Cat, are you here? I don't think you've rolled yet. Oh, Sheeps is here. All right. Oh, Sheeps. I haven't heard anything yet from the others that I've called on. So, Oh, Sheeps, I need you to make a roll for me. Exclamation point 4d6. And we're going to use the first 2 d6s for her weight modifier. All right, 5 and 1 is 6. So times 7. We'll get this. 6'7", 242 pounds, 22-year-old adult, chaotic, neutral, female, Minotaur cleric, faction agent. And you can have this as a prompt for occupation and history, and or we have drawn on other parts of her personality and linked them to at least 3 of the 4 characters. However, I think we can actually make a solid connection to all 4 characters. We have a good central NPC in this case. And now you'll see all of this came after we randomly rolled everything else. And we applied the random rolls to the list of NPCs. I don't know, Victor. The prompt is Minotaur. Does it have to be a bull or a bovine? It could be, yeah, it could be a ram or a sheep. Bah, ram you. Maybe the Minotaurs in this world are pastoral in that sense. You know, I mean, sheeps might, you know, get behind that idea as well, that we actually have Minotaurs that are like our sheep heads, which is also a type of fish, and this is a coastal area that we developed too. So this is one way that we can create an NPC. And ta-da! The NPC not only fits the world, fits at least 3, if not 4 of our 4 players, and is just because we took some time to just sit down and discover the NPC. As a DM running the NPC, we are more empowered to make decisions about or heading towards or coming from that NPC. Oh, well, welcome back, Josh. Now what I want to do for our second, let's start by choosing an NPC from our list of concepts. So at first we started with the roles and we applied the roles to a concept. Now let's start with the concept. And then apply the random rolls to that as another way to exercise our minds. No, there's nothing wrong with having this Minotaur of sorts. It would be another mutant. It would be a normling. Okay. What are our prompts? So here we have something, the Medusas. The Medusas could be mutants. There are other specific guild members. It could be a title or a rank. But again, the concept of the guilds, the trade guilds in this area is very strong. Now, let's see, those who know our secret, or someone that we've helped. That Cantora might have a bond, or someone that we've judged harshly. Someone in the dictator's royal court, or the dictatorial court. Unofficial. A courtesan, some other informant. NPCs, a former romantic partner for Wofax, or we actually rolled that one of Wofax's parents is involved in the Celestia Guild, such as we rolled it. That would mean that there is another parent who's not. If we go through, welcome back, Samus. There we go. Soda's extra fizzy tonight. Do any of these, let's just choose one. It doesn't have to be a fit-all. Do any of these prompts sound good to you? Do any of you like, I don't know, what would the personage or the rank of a Medusa be? Or what about someone that our Oathbreaker has judged or helped? What about a courtier or a courtesan? or an official of some kind? Or what about a possibly former or current romantic partner, or a parent to one of the PCs? It seems like passively bewitched and O'Sheeps might be going for the romantic partner angle. All right, well, I'm going to roll with it. Because I'm seeing the wife, O'Sheeps, my darling bewitch. So, occupation and history, or the prompt that we're going to build from, we have a... tell you what. Samus, can you please type exclamation point 1d8 in chat? If it's odds, we have a former romantic partner. If it's evens, it's a current romantic partner. Ah. Current romantic partner to Wofax. Now, this doesn't mean that we can't find other bonds for him or her among the party. But this NPC, we're starting with a specific prompt in this exercise, and now we're going to build from here. And again, if we want to do a quick character build before any of this other stuff, we can do that as well, and then we're going to have all the details fit onto the core instead of building the outline first and then coloring inside of it. It's going to produce the art either way. It's just what approach is best for you, but by doing it both ways, you can judge for yourself which you like the best, or maybe you switch it up because it keeps your brain nimble. So, we're going to go back. We're going to go back here. All right, Samus. It's a good way to do it. All right, so here we have our channel wives, Bewitch and O'Sheeps. Let's roll here. Bewitchcraft, will you please give me a percentile roll in chat and determine if we have a female character, a male character, or I guess a multi-class, if that would mean anything. Now, something to consider, because we are talking, Oh, I agree, O'Sheeps. I'd love for Carla to hang out with us, if she can. Let love roll the yes. Now, I will say, if the player, it stops on a 14. All right, so we have a female character. Whether or not the person playing the character or the character, this is a good side note to bring up. If we're talking things about interpersonal relationships, it doesn't have to be sexual. It could be romantic, or it could be a budding friendship. If we start dipping into personal bonds in that regard, make sure that you as the DM have a discussion about that with the player if they're comfortable with this. Now, we're going to presume that our player is comfortable with whatever our results ended up being, because he or she handed us that character, and we're presuming that already met the approval. I mean, we could have a girl player playing a boy character who loves a girl character, or a girl NPC. We could have a boy player playing a boy character who likes a boy NPC, or any combination, since we have all this interaction. But, stuff like this, if it starts getting really intense in one direction or another, talk about it. Be adults about it. There's nothing wrong, and if someone says I'm not comfortable, even if you are as the presenter, or even if you're comfortable as the player, and you say, I would really like to have a certain type of interaction with someone, Or, you know, I hate this guy. I want to rip his guts and you start getting super gory. You might have a dungeon master say, whoa, whoa, whoa. I get it. I'm not running that content, though. For whatever reason. You know, your table's going to be different. Yeah, and if in Tamric, you can always shift it, the prompt over to, instead of a romantic relationship, they could be siblings. By, you know, blood, or by like a step sibling, or just because everyone who joins this guild is a brother or sister in, you know, in a broader sense, in a philosophical or a religious sense. It could be teacher student. Yeah, it could be a slew of romantic or platonic or whatever. You know, play up to it and have fun. But we have a female character, and exactly, Bewitchcraft. And having conversations like that, it's fine. You know, no one can plan for everything. No one can take everything off the table or, you know, pre-script out everything for an adventure. But it's fine to talk about, to have these conversations. So, Sheeps, I need you to determine the romantic partner here for Wofax. Now, let's keep in mind that Wofax is a Normling. Now, we rolled an aquatic half-elf as the Normling, because, of course, Normlings are mutants, or anyone who are not halflings, humans, or gnomes, elves. So in this case, I think we can keep things wild and free, as we do. And so, Sheeps, will you Bewitchcraft set us up? We have a female romantic interest. I need you to roll a d6, please. And hi, the End of Days. It's good to see you back. Yeah, it's been a while. But thank you for finding time and stopping in. Stops on a 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, the End of Days, can you please type exclamation point 1d6? What if it's a Minotaur? If we get a 2, this could be interesting. Hello, Awaz. That's a cute emote. How's it? It's going very well, Awaz. In fact, Awaz, can you do me a favor and type exclamation point 1d6 in chat? Almost a Minotaur. So, our romantic interest is an orc. And where's orcs make beautiful lovers when you need them in chat? Let me make sure he's not lurking somewhere. Nope, I don't see orcs make beautiful lovers. All right. So we have female orc. Orcs, yeah, orc wives, they're tough. Shadowner. Will you please roll a percentile and let's find out, her, let's see, what is his alignment? His alignment was chaotic neutral. Okay. Stops on a 56. lawful neutral in the morgue's distribution. So you know what? She probably helps keep him in check. All right. I'm not worried about the level. I'm not worried about feats. For the background here, let's go to Victor. Will you please roll a D12 in chat? And then Tamarick, I'm going to call on you next. Stops on a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tamarick, I need you to roll a D6, please. Two. A Golgari agent? This is too perfect. Of all the backgrounds, we have another Golgari. We have, all right, Tamarick Mabuki. Walshud, our deep gnome, is a Golgari agent. And we just rolled the lover of Wofax, who's the Celestia agent. Even though we were creating an NPC more specifically off of Wofax's prompt, we are intrinsically tying our chaotic neutral Celestia initiate to our chaotic neutral, our very, our loner Golgari agent. And Walshud is very much, sticks to the shadows, is actively antisocial, but is active. And then we have Wofax, who is rather charismatic and is just antisocial because he's lazy and doesn't want to work. Now, they both express themselves in a somewhat similar fashion, but the love interest to Wofax has a connection of sorts to Walshud. Oh my, everyone, it writes itself. It writes itself, everyone. And so with her being lawful neutral, I mean, it means she's organized. Like, she could be that, like, the district head of that guild. And remember, we're not playing on Ravnica, so it's not actually the Golgari. But some themes and concepts we can apply to the setting that we've all made together here in our workshop. And so we have someone who's actually, might see something in Walshud, and yet gives orders to Wofax, sees something in Wofax, and yet gives orders to Walshud. And it is intrinsically tying the two together. And here we have our lazy, kind of like laid-back, hippie Celestia fiend warlock. And so the Celestia is kind of like an anger management course for him. Pardon me. Should have muted for that. Sorry. And so she's kind of fallen for him. They're both normlings. And so I love it. And you know what? Only in a workshop like this, everyone, could we get such inspiration and such wonderful prompts. And we're leaving ourselves completely open to randomness and just paying attention to the little things that we've done together in our workshop. All right, anyway, let's continue. Demon, can you please roll a D12 for me? Lands on a 6. A monk. A monk. And what kind of monk do we have as our sort of commander here of our Golgari, like our Hunters Guild, which is kind of what we're flavoring the Golgari to be, a Hunters Guild. And let's have Hark. Will you please roll? I guess we'll roll a D8, but there's only 7 because Sun Soul is repeated. So we're just gonna skip over. We're just gonna skip over the 1. Lands on a 1. A drunken master. Excellent. Let's see, half-orc, orc. I think it'll fit really well, Shadow. And if you have ideas and want to expound on it, throw them out there. This is our NPC, not my NPC. This isn't just mine. All right, let's see. Samus, if you're around, can you please type exclamation point 1D100 in chat? Self-control and control of those around you. So being someone who's in command, and also maybe someone who parties hard, but also, you know, works hard too. Tamrick is dropping some styles here. We might not have Samus, and so I will call on Josh the NES Nerd. Are you still around? Yeah, orcs get extra movement. All right, Josh, can you please type exclamation point 1D100? Yeah, monks are fast, and orcs are even faster when they're rushing into combat. Stops on an 18. Oh, it's young love. So we have a young adult. And that is going to be... Oh. Maybe... All right. We have to have a conversation real quick with the way that the moons have aligned. The orc, the young adult biological phase of orcs, as their life cycle stated in the player's handbook, is their young adulthood is 7 plus 1d4 years. So, before anyone clenches up or says, ugh, this is a time where if a DM, you're not comfortable with something, either a random roll or something that's been brought up, where you say, well, it is cultural, or honestly, she is old. At 35 years old, she's probably going to die from natural death. And so, this is young adulthood. If you'd prefer to instead, you know, increase her age like this, or to say that instead of dying early, orcs in your world live to be older, and you want to shift this to human, in which case young adult would be more like late teen. So before I want to make sure you all are comfortable with what we're presenting, but also when we create characters like this, it brings good prompts up. Yeah, exactly. Biologically, at 12, she has matured. Her chronological age is such, but biologically, she is a mature, fully grown, filled out, developed, mentally and physically adult orc. Just like at 2 years old, a dragonborn, as presented in the player's handbook, is the same biologically as a 10-year-old human. And so, if you are playing a 4 or 5-year-old dragonborn, you are in, you know, you're like high school age kind of a thing. Biologically. Now, socially, with social norms or taboos, or legally, with whatever the laws are in the society, if you're talking about, Bewitchcraft said consent is everything. Depending on the nature of the relationship, this would be a conversation to have. Though, in the context of the world, here we have someone who is just coming of age. So you're absolutely correct, Shadow, and we can have this conversation with a straight face. Our natural reaction might be to kind of go, to inhale sharply and to, clench up and tear a hole in the back of our britches. Remember that this is your world and you can present whomever you want. And if this result makes you uncomfortable, or you would rather change your role, or you'd rather make the lifespan longer than an orc probably not seeing 40 in a natural lifespan, because they grow up quick, they're super strong, and then they burn out by default, then change it. That is an Orog, which is like half ogre, half orc, Awaz. What? Trust-a-Flump is here? Happy New Year. We were just talking about D&D time earlier in the program, Trust-a-Flump. Dude, welcome. It's good to see you. All right, so Trust-a-Flump, can you please roll a D4 in chat? I hope you enjoyed your vacation. 1d4, exclamation point 1d4. If you're willing to share, where did you go, or what did you do? Or was it a staycation? You just stayed at home and jammed out? All right, so we would have the equivalent of sort of like maybe like a 15, 16-year-old human girl who has stepped up, is in this commanding position, maybe because she is just this force of personality, or she's willing to do the things that other people aren't, or honestly, if you're running a hunter's guild, there's probably a lot of turnover, especially when you're hunting aberrations and elementals, and she might have just been the one who stepped up and is willing to be the next leader, because the other person was eaten. She could have even been an understudy. Oh, you made Orogs into a race unto themselves. Okay. I don't want to go... I mean, we could put height and weight on there. That's fine. It'll be a part of your description. For the sake of brevity, to get to the other random parts, we have the core concept of our NPC. And now that we know... Like before, we just generated some stats and we thought, all right, what kind of a person could fill the vessel? Now we have the vessel, and we're going to dress up the vessel. Oh, you played... Oh, that sounds awesome, Trust-a-Flump. Oh, and you got to play... And you played Dread, DM'd by Farfel. That's great. Long story short, I'm kind of a Jenga god. Haha. Oh, that is cool. You know, Trust-a-Flump, they had a giant Jenga set at TwitchCon, and if it's something that maybe that you'd want to participate in, I don't know if you would want to go to TwitchCon this coming September, but maybe we could do some planning and end up running an impromptu Dread game and stream it, or just give some entertainment to people at TwitchCon with their public giant Jenga game. No, that's great, Trust-a-Flump. But yeah, dude, I'd love to see you next TwitchCon, and we have 9 months. Trust-a-Flump, we have a TwitchCon baby that we got to prepare for. The seed has been planted this month. We have a 9-month countdown before TwitchCon happens. All right. Our NPC appearance. We're going to go back. We're going to go back to our NPC generator. Trust-a-Flump, will you get us started here with a D20 roll? Exclamation point 1D20. Oh, you will be traveling a lot. Oh. 13. What's notable about our orc? She is bald. All right, now, Shadow, can you please type exclamation point 4D6? The first two D6s will be for the ability scores. The second will be for her ideal when we get there. One, 5, 3, 4. So her high stat is strength. Her low stat is wisdom. Tamric, will you please help us determine her talent? Can you give me a D20 roll in chat? Exclamation point 1D20. Stops on a 4. She has a perfect memory. What is a mannerism that our NPC has? I'll need a D20 roll. And, Hark. Hark, can you give me an eidetic memory? Yes, Tamric. Can you give me a D20 roll, please? I do too, Trust-a-Flump, but obviously I'm preaching to the choir for presentation purposes. It's good to have an electronic copy. 16. She chews something. What does she chew? A long piece of grass or wheat? Do we have an equivalent of gum in our world? Is she always chewing some beef jerky? Tobacco. Yes, she might be chewing tobacco. In my campaign world, I developed something called Blacktooth Root. That was it was sort of like a tobacco licorice combination where it had addictive properties, and but if you chewed it, obviously over time it would stain your teeth black, but it would develop a spit that you could, kind of, if you got good with it, you could gleek it into someone's eye and blind them for a little bit. Hey, there with Ferris. Now we're remembering and developing our setting. All right, that was a little bit more in the syllables I clapped out. Yeah, so it'd be kind of like a black licorice that had like a nicotine-style addiction property, and it would just naturally dye your teeth dark color, and but because it would also dye your spit, you could sort of like squid ink someone with it. All right, Awaz, how does she interact with other people? Can you please roll a D12 in chat and let us know? Now, when I say licorice, I'm not necessarily talking sweet. I'm talking like that kind of numbing, tingly anise flavor or experience. The mouthfeel. Mouthfeel. I like saying that word. Stops on a 4. She's rude. She's rude. Yeah, she might have, if we want to give her this Blacktooth Root I just talked about, she might have stained teeth. Maybe not her tusks, maybe so. Now, useful knowledge, again, this is the black box into which you could put whatever convenient world or game knowledge you would like. She is a medium, a delivery method. And as she has connections to at least half of the party, she'd be a very convincing one. Hey, yeah, she's been around, but you know what, Awaz? You can't lead a hunter's guild, especially at such a young age, if you haven't learned to survive out in the wilds, and if you haven't been through some stuff. She probably has some pretty good scars on her, too. Now, her ideal, carrying over from that other role, was a lawful ideal. That was number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, logic. Lawful. She uses logic. And you know what? With a perfect memory, she may have a low wisdom score. I bet she's very intelligent. No, not yet, Victor. Hey, that could be. Or Tamric, if we want, instead of Drunken Master, it could simply be maybe whatever she chooses replaces liquor or alcohol as the agent or the catalyst that is a part of this training. It could be, you could call her a black tooth master or a root master or something along those lines. Yeah, there you go, Tamric. It doesn't have to be alcohol. Maybe she chooses that to help take the edge off. And you know what? That is probably why she and Wolfax get along. Wolfax has anger problems and joined the Celestia Guild in order to help manage it. Because, you know, it enhances your inner calm. It helps you to take that edge off. It tries to make you not such an angry, rash person, because Wolfax also has bulging muscles. Wolfax is a bulgy boy. He has a 10 charisma despite him being a warlock, and his strength is through the roof. Absolutely, these two would get along. Of course, he's lazy and she's driven, and so there is that connection between them that would make a fun, romantic or a budding romance or a platonic into a romantic or whatever you want to, wherever you want to take it. Could that's the bridge. A tobacco master. A licorice master. Yeah, so instead of liquor, it's licorice. Victor says, have I ever told you the time my players blew up the planet? I don't know if you have, Victor. That sounds very dire. What about her AC if she has low wisdom, high dex? What about it? She might have a high dex. She might just be strong and ends fights before they start. And remember too, high strength could be 20, low wisdom could be 16, and every other stat is in between 16 and 20. High strength could be 12, low wisdom could be 8, and everything is in between that. Remember, this is just indicating a trend. If you have a high strength, that's indicating that you're powerful, brawny, as strong as an ox. If you have a low wisdom, it just means that you have some roleplay traits that you're oblivious or absent-minded. Now, she remembers everything very well, but she's not very attentive, so what she remembers is everything that she actually, gets to consume mentally. And she employs logic. I'd wager she is a high strength, high int. This is an NPC, we can, but I'm not making a full sheet for her, Tamric. Or, you know what? As a dungeon master, have it be that intelligence and dex are her AC instead of dex and wisdom. It's your NPC. An exception to the world, a unique character. Make her kind of, non-observant, a little, she's not attentive to what goes on around her, but she'll stop a fight through physical force and survival. Yeah, demon. There you go. Yeah, in Shadow, yeah, just look at it that way. It's an NPC. You don't have to follow the same rules. Now, what is her bond to the world? Let's see. Demon, can you give me a D10 roll in chat? Exclamation point 1D10. And then for her flaw or her secret, Bubonic one. Oh no, Bubonic, you left. Bubonic, if you're still here, can you give me a dice roll? Demon Quiller's saying that our bond is number 1. Dedicated to fulfilling a personal life goal. And what is that goal? That's the prompt for us to think about. This is gonna bond. This could be the bond that attaches her not just to Wofax and Walshud, but maybe to Digson. Maybe she probably doesn't feel proper in the court. Or what if she's never really had a friend that's a girl before? And if Walshud and Wofax are rolling around with Cantora, maybe dedicated to fulfilling a personal life goal, I want to have a girl that's a friend. And in this case, she would be trying to befriend a Cantora Snapdragon, archaic, evil, female, ghostwise, halfling, oathbreaker paladin. But our NPC would have heard of her because of her deeds as a folk hero. And so her bond, the NPC could have a one-way bond to a player character, even if the platonic desire is not returned by Cantora. Yeah, Tamara, kind of like that. Oh, Bubonic, okay, real quick, before you go, I need a D12 in chat before you go to bed. I'm glad I caught you before you did. Take us home with this D12 roll, Bubonic. So Victor, you're saying about blowing up the world. The players had learned that an evil wizard, 3,000 years of age, had amassed a horde of demons and undead and was planning to invade the world with them. They massed the armies of good and, wielding the laser-powered Vorpal Warhammer, marched to meet the evil on the field. Uh-oh, this hammer sundered the world in two. In twain? Bubonic one rolled a 3. Her flaw or her secret is arrogance. And by the way, it's a DM secret that you as a player character should know too. The reason, like a flaw or a secret, if you can learn this about an NPC and or a villain. Thank you for the prompt and the conversation tonight, Bubonic. Rest well, and we'll see you for the next workshop. Hopefully. If you can find out some of these personality traits, like especially a flaw or secret, that's the immediate hard-hitting leverage. But if you can find out more about an NPC's personality, leverage it, explore it, use it. If you find out that this NPC, that you can play to her arrogance because she is a young adult who, will be proud to say, yeah, I'm the leader of the Hunters Guild. Right? She wants to prove something to someone. She wants to flaunt. Of course I'm an adult. I've been chewing black tooth root for years now, see? I've been, I even have a boyfriend or whatever else. Or you know what, I'm, just whatever, right? Play to her arrogance. And if you do, not only will you appease her, that could open up some lanes and you'll have a lot of fun role-playing. Hey, Jared. Welcome. And so here we go. We have our 2 NPCs. One started with the outline that we then filled in. The other, we had our core, and now we applied all the role details. And what we're going to do is get up and take a break. And when we return, we're going to apply a similar but different methodology to create 2 different villains or even like a rival of sorts for the characters using the Dungeon Master's Guide. Mighty Griffin Knights charged to meet the evil head first, clashing with magic and steel, while the dwarves battled the endless legions of demons and goblins, and the mighty lords of questing destroyed the undead. The battle seemed to be going well, but the evil wizard was nowhere to be found in the battle. Can high strength take any value you recommend? It's up to you as the DM. Most of what we've done for character generation has used the standard array of 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. And then you put any racial modifiers and then any ASIs you want to apply to this character. Though, when we're making the NPCs are existing more in concept. And if they exist in concept, that can it's less work for you while still delivering really good content through your NPC. And as well, as soon as your NPCs have hit points, that can become, you know, if the players are aware of the hit points of an NPC, it loses part of that impact. Kind of like the phrase we've talked about in here, that Macabre Derek had brought up. Once you give Cthulhu hit points, you've completely missed the point. Cthulhu and Elder Gods should never have hit points. For various reasons. And you know what? If a player just wants to outright murk this NPC, okay, you swing once, you hit her, and she falls over dead. But I thought she does. You attack someone in the street. What do you want? Or, if you want to make a point, she always has just enough hit points to get out of there or to do something else. So, Pabeto? Is that how you want me to pronounce your name? If high is strength, it just means she's a strong character physically. This could be a 20, this could be a 16, and all the other stats in between are between those two numbers, and all of them are high in context. Wisdom could be a 6, strength could be a 24, and everything else is in between. It's what you'd want it to be. And yeah, arrogance and logical, she definitely has a Sheldon Cooper sort of vibe going on. And the city guards come to arrest you, yeah. And the city guards aren't all just, you know, local yokels who know how to, you know, bonk people with a club or whatever. You know, they actually are competent at their jobs. All right, anyway, let's get up and take a break. And when we come back, we've warmed up with NPCs because villains are NPCs. And then we're going to make 2 villains using similar methodology. All right, everyone?